Yeah, we back at it again. And what's real? What's good? How you living? How you feeling? Shout out to Big Beard Game Daddy gaming channel. uh, but man, it's gonna be short. Just sitting there chopping it up, the fellow brothers, and we just talking about all this YouTube and life. And a lot of times people are trying to merge the two. They don't go together because a lot of people are not living this real life. Like the persona of YouTube is whatever you want it to be. Because just knowing, shout out to Toya, when you get on the panel, you can be anybody. Nobody knows you outside of your true friends or people that know you personally. So you can be anybody. You can fabricate stuff, make stuff up, long as you got partial receipts. You know, run what I eat, what's going on. I can stand in front of a Lamborghini and just say blessings. I didn't say it was my car. All I said was blessings. And to a degree, you can just fabricate a whole new life on YouTube. I mean, I'm listening to different channels and, that's what they're doing. But for the most part, shout out to the growing community. You get called to the square over there. I'm over there in the gardening space, and you got to show and prove. You know, shout out to Broke Farmer with his Harris Tribe. What's going on, media? You got to show and prove. You know, and shout out to them because they put me on Broke Farmer. With the watermelon challenge. I'm gonna prove them wrong, man. I'm gonna grow my watermelon in the winter. But nevertheless, say the least, when it comes down to it, you got to show and prove. You know, if you say you're a gardener, you say you're growing stuff, you got to show and prove. And a lot of other spaces, you ain't got to do nothing but talk. What the old saying, you talk ish and swallow spit. So you can do whatever you want, say whatever you want, because you're not held to account. You're not held accountable. You're not held to a standard. You're only, acknowledged by what you say. And some people hold you to a fault or not with that what you say. You know, keeping it 100 in most spaces is not a real thing because you can fabricate things. You can make things up. You can, you know, just nevertheless say what you want to say, revel of the consequences later if you get found out. Other than that, people hold you for face value. But that's why I'm more or less liking the gardening space, and I've been more into that lately than all these other spaces because people don't want to be held accountable. They want to live in their truth, their freedom, whether if it's a lie or not. You know, they're comfortable with the results of them not doing anything and being mediocre. So more or less, when it comes down to it, it's like it's not my lane. I've talked to guys in different spaces. Preferably with the manager type guys, and I get their struggle, but I don't understand it fully because I've been married for years. You know, Marriage is a wonderful thing to me. And that's what I've always said. People fall out of love, people fall in love, but it's all about the choices you make, your significant other that you pick, and have that understanding what you're growing old together. This is not the short haul for us just to get married for a couple of years, build some type of wealth, then separate. This is a long term game. You got to have that intent and have that understanding when you get into talking with someone about the marriage. You know, even I seen that whole situation to where the woman ended up uh, breaking off her engagement over some Beyonce tickets. She let a lifetime commitment get broken up over an entertainer and their tickets. I'm like, what are we doing here? You telling me Beyonce influenced your life that much to where you rather go ahead and go to a concert than marry to a man? Like, I didn't understand that whole thing. Like today, I mean, I was just talking to a guy and it still puzzles my head to where this lady literally wanted to go to the Beyonce concert, even getting the nosebleed tickets. See, all my farmers coming in here now. But even getting the nosebleed tickets, peaches, peaches, what's going on? But even the nosebleed tickets at 1,500, she was getting that, and she was complaining that she wanted to get the 1,500. Like, what is real? Like, what are we? What are these kids learning? What are these adults more or less learning? Because the adults are teaching the kids this mess. And a lot of times I always say it's guilty by association. You know, we pretty much get into a habit of doing things and being a certain way on the premise of our family and our friends, mainly our friends. I always say this so many times. There's kids raising kids raising kids at this time. You know, Bayou, what's going on? It's literally kids raising kids now. It's like it's to a extent to where the adults, they don't have no pretty much no good premise on raising their kids. They listen to more to their friends, listen to other people but the parents. The parents are not cool. I mean, I was in that position. I was to a point where parents wasn't that cool. Parents, you know, not to be trusted or dealt with to a certain degree. I had that same mindset, but at the same time, I always knew a level of trust and, you know, created a understanding within my head. I get what I get out of life. A lot of kids, they don't. The real factor of it is these kids are getting more selfish and more into themselves and want what they want. They don't even know what real is. As long as somebody give them some money or they have some type of influence in social media or a celebrity, they more or less garner a guide to that type of life than the people that are out here working 9 to 5s, the people that are out here moving around and as my friend would call it, the movers and shakers that putting society the way it is now. you know and it's a lot of situations where I just be sitting here just thinking about, like, man, why are so many people getting caught up like this? And it seems like they want to be caught up like this. It seems like they want themselves in these situations. I mean, face it, just being real, just saying that you're real is not even a thing. You know, it's proof and showing. You know, the way you walk got that confidence. The way you move, the way you assert yourself in conversations, and the way you do things. That's keeping it real. You know, Dave Chappelle had that when keeping it real goes wrong. I was on April Showers channel the other day, and the guy, I don't even want to give him any clout. Like, the more or less, what his intent was, the way he would, make these terms towards women and men, within the space and throughout. Like, you kind of knew what this guy intent was, but more or less, he was trying to come from the basis of keeping it real. And I'm like, to what extent are you keeping it real? You're literally, talking mess about people you don't know, even in their situations. Like, how is this supposed to be real? You know, we have so many people that we deal with on a daily basis that are barely trying to make it. The ones that are making it and they doing well for themselves, they being frowned upon because they took a point in their life where they wanted to change. And it's crazy because I've seen so many people, family members, addicted to drugs. I knew this girl from high school. Don't want to go too deep into it, but Her whole family was on drugs. So she, adapted that same behavior. And then turned around, she got off of it and, had kids and more or less became successful, ended up being a nurse because she didn't want her kids to go through that same struggle and got her kids out of that environment. Didn't really take them around her parents as much, so they couldn't even see that, that struggle and everything that's going on. Black money in the building, what's going on? April Showers, I just brought your name up. April Showers. Black money in the building, what's going on, everybody? Was trying to make sure everybody got their wrench. You know how I be over here. You know, everybody gotta be wrenched up. They gotta be wrenched up over here. Because maybe you want to check out somebody's content over here. I just talked about April Showers when I was over there on her panel. You know, Shout out to Black Money always be pushing. You know, this guy like Tom Joyner, like the hardest working man on YouTube right now. I appreciate you, man. Always shouting me out, coming to your panels, man. Great conversations. Always having those great conversations. Never shy of having a great conversation. You bring good topics, man. Great topics. Never shy of that. But going into it, like I said, I ain't gonna be on here too much longer. But just having that conversation of what's real, because you know, a lot of times we cut this YouTube off. You got to go back to real life. You know, that fake it till you make it stuff. It's a thing. But then for the ones that don't make it, that's a thing. So you got to understand. When we out here popping and talking like we big, and some of these people get to cussing people out on live. I know a guy now. This guy he didn't just start making money until the pandemic happened. This guy was, trying his hardest, pushing his influence, trying his hardest, trying to push this and trying to push that. And the guy literally just started making money. So say the least, I mean, granted, everything that he talks about, everything narratives and stuff he tried to push, the guy literally just started making money. That says the least of, pretty much how he got his, bones and in different spaces and got himself together. He literally just started making money, so he's trying to ride the wave of his financial success now, but he just started getting money. There's another guy in the space talks about how much money he has, and the guy, literally, if you just let people talk, like they always say, the guy talks about how he was broke. I think what 17 to 18, 2017, 2018, but yet, he kind of comes off like he's done had money all his life. And I'm like, literally, you say one thing and then you do another. So which one is it? Are you famous? You're not famous? Or, it comes to a point where, you know, sometimes it's very much true that you do have to stay off social media. Art, what's going on, man? Man, sometimes I catch it live, sometimes I don't, man. I be over there in the clouds, getting it in. Sometimes I mostly try to catch them Friday ones while I be out, while I'm off work. But man, shout out to you, Art. I'm always still rocking with you, man. Man, but like I said in the end, real is real, fake is fake. That fake it till you make it, it only lasts so long, and that's why I kind of push the narrative from stop talking about a lot of things about the gender war and just start focusing on things about money, because a lot of times we can have these conversations all day, but a lot of people they don't have their personals together, they finance. How can you be in a relationship when you ain't even got you together? you know Shout out to Gold Professor with the 9 laws of self-government. You know what's going on, American Negro? What's going on with you, man? But a lot of times, man, we have these situations to where shout out to Gold Professor with the 9 laws of self-government. You don't even have law number one, discipline. If you don't have the discipline, you can't complete no task on anything. From task one all the way to law number 1 to 9. If you don't have law one together, you don't have the protection. You don't have the applied selfishness. You don't have the exercise. You don't have the reading. You don't have to. You don't have your knowing who you are and knowing what your worth is. You don't have those. You don't have the point of building something. You don't have the point of planting seeds and being patient. You can't even get to law 9 of planting seeds and being patient because you don't even have law number one together. That's the discipline. Shout out to Gold Professor for making the 9 laws of self-government. If you don't have discipline, you can't do it. You can't get up and go to work without discipline because you didn't set your alarm. Keep hitting the snooze button. No discipline. Having a diet, keep having cheat days. No discipline. You know, wanting more money at work, but you're doing the bare minimum. No discipline. You know, wanting to have a better body, but you only work out 5 minutes a day. No discipline. Hard work and dedication. You want better results, you got to put in the work. You know, going back to what the name of the screen. I mean, what's real? We can talk the talk all day, but in the end, it's things that we got to do in life to make ourselves be accountable. Because, like I said, we can cut this YouTube off, be somebody totally different in real life. But the point of it is, who you fool? You can fool the people on YouTube, but you can't fool yourself. You look at yourself every day in the mirror, and if you're not looking at yourself in the mirror, at some point, you're self-reflecting on yourself, holding yourself accountable. You know, there are some people that can't do that. Some people can't walk in that light because darkness is all around them. And I mean, that's just real. I said this on the live stream before the other day. I was talking to somebody. Some people are never going to get good. Some people are going to never have anything in life because that's their mentality, is just to get by. They don't care about, they want money, but they don't too much care about it because if they did, they would do what necessarily takes to get more money. A lot of people are just gonna lie dormant, waiting on someone there to give them something versus helping them and putting them in a better place. Because don't get it twisted. I can help somebody get a job. I can give them a car. I can put them in a good position. But in the end, it's up to them to get up and go to work. It's up to them to get up and clock in or drive that car and make money. Say the least, man. I mean, we got so many people. I was just talking to a guy about this the other day. We was talking about tech and talking about guys in the space, talking about Keep It Techie. Keep It Techie has a great channel. Talks about tech, Linux, his biggest thing, OBS. But, you know, who's getting into the tech field? Are they interested in watching this stuff, or are they interested in other conversations? You know, you got channels like this. The go back up here because they're in the chat. Harris Family. You know, they have several topics. They talk about things. You know, who's pushing the envelope? Who's going to the channel? You know, having a conversation. You know, open it up for discussion. You know, shout out to them. Their child, birthday just passed. A lot of people don't talk about their kids on the panel. That's this is basically a family channel. Family channel. There's some things that they talk about might not be on the level which kids should hear, but to someone that's a teenager, it's definitely needed. But like I said, I wasn't gonna be on here too long. Shout out to everybody that came through. Hey, when keeping it real goes wrong, it goes wrong. You know, saying just what you want to say is not real. Running your mouth trying to be above and be better than people is not real. Holding yourself accountable, that's real. With that being said, shout out to everybody that came through. You know what I always say? We here and we gone.